Hello, it is my pleasure welcoming you to this session. Thank you, Preeti, for such a warm welcome. We were expecting this session to be success, but not to this extent. The last numbers what we had is that this event is registered by 900 plus professional from 40 different countries. Let me set context for this session in terms of why we came up with the idea of this session. We continue to meet several young professionals. Some of them are uh, young college students. Some of them are young industry interns working in project controls. Some of them have experience ranging from 5 to 10 years to 15 years. They all are filled with enthusiasm and excitement about how they can build up their career in project controls. This triggers us to build this course or build this session where we can answer all the questions that were asked by so many individual professionals time and again. We saw a common set of questions such as how to get into project controls career, and for those who were already in project controls as a young professional, the common question were how they can improve their project controls career path and get into the next level. Other common question are what are the certification or degree they should be pursuing in order to be successful in project controls career. We have tried to answer all these questions in this session. And with this backdrop, let's get into the first section of this session, that is what is project controls. When it's come to projects and their management, we have Project Management Institute or PMI, who has nicely provided definition of projects, definition of project and project management. However, we do not have any dedicated professional body for project controls, and therefore, as such, we do not have a very nicely defined definition of project controls. However, when we are talking about project controls as a sub-function of project management in capital project or construction project setting, we are essentially talking about gathering project data, analyzing project data, and forecasting based on data analysis. Forecasting means the project performance forecasting. I thought to take some academic context to our discussion, so I picked up a concise book from my bookshelf. That is a book on project controls, integrating cost and schedule in construction by W.J. Pico. It is a nice and concise book, and I thought that let's start with the definition of the project controls from this book. This book goes on and define project controls as project controls is function of integrating cost and schedule data to establish a baseline or guidance system for monitoring, measuring, and controlling project performance. A quite nicely defined, well-defined definition. Now let's talk about what are project controls element. I mean, what are the various building blocks of the project controls? Depending upon how project controls are viewed, it will be largely influence that what is considered as part of project controls. Here it is assumed that project controls are concerned with estimating initial baseline or performance matrices, determining the current status of the project, estimating the future potential of the project, identifying any variances, uh, baseline to current position and baseline to future position in terms of variances as on date as well as variances at completion, and considering appropriate action to be taken to recover any negative variance. In the simplest term, we can define variance as a difference between what was planned for this period or up to this period and what is actual project performance. So with that backdrop of what is project controls and how its building blocks would be, we have a list of project controls elements. And in my own experience, this list is the list of defining the project controls element. So let's walk through this list. The first is planning and scheduling. Then risk management. Risk management also includes identification, assessments, and mitigation, and all those measures for risk. Cost estimation and management, scope and change management. One of the very commonly used project controls technique for project performance management is earned value management. Then we have document controls, which generally comes as a subsystem of project controls. We have a supplier performance in capital or construction project setting, because we are going to have a lot of subcontractors, suppliers who supports the delivery of the project. Then maintaining the baseline. We talked about that at the planning and scheduling. At the various stage, the beginning stage, at the planning stage, we create a baseline. However, during the course of the project, we do the we maintain the baseline with respect to the changes made to the project. Then reporting is also an essential part of the project control function. Then now we have new things getting added, that is information management, BIM management, the software which will be used in the project management software, the collaboration software, and the project information repository software, and so many things. They also comes under the project controls as the elements. So these are essentially project controls elements. Now let's talk about what are the sub processes of project controls. Processes that define project controls are listed here. The strength of the project controls lies in data focused approach and attention to details. We all know this, that without focusing data and without giving attention to details, the project controls function will not work into the expectation of our managers and basically to meet the project requirements. Project manager does not simply want to know that there is a cost overrun, but he rather wants to know what is root cause of it. He wants to know the precise numbers, and he wants to know how project cost overrun or schedule overrun can be fixed. This is where a fully integrated project control solution can help with efficiency and getting answers quickly and providing visibility into the project performance, thereby reducing the project cost overrun and project schedule overrun. Let's dive into processes that defines project controls now, which are on the screen here. The first one is project planning. Planning is one of the important steps in which controllers and project managers work together. Whether it is creating project plan, schedule, work breakdown structure, cost estimate, in all the steps, planning gives everyone a baseline to work with throughout the project. The second element is budgeting. Integrating budgeting process into project activities is essential to calculate cost accurately and to understand when and why variances occur. By time phasing budget and refining the numbers, a transparent project cost model is available for senior managers and team members alike to serve as both benchmark throughout the project and understand vitally the important cash flow information. Then we have the third element, that is risk management. Project controls provide a meticulous approach towards risk management. By proactively and preemptively identifying risk, monitoring risk continuously, and developing a contingency plan to address and mitigate issues, it becomes possible to reduce the impact on budget and schedule. This helps, risk management helps prevent some risk from occurring in future as well. The next element is change management. When a project deviates from original estimate, it is often not due to a single factor, but it is due to a cumulative effect of several factors that tend to go unnoticed. This is why change management is critical. By tracking changes and understanding their impact while following a clear process for evaluation, approval, and accountability of changes, project can remain on the planned trajectory. It will not go, going go beyond what was planned if the change management is implemented nicely. The other element is performance measurement. And as I have mentioned before, the earned value management is the the technique for measuring the project, managing the project performance management. Defining and using key performance indicator to monitor project health and forecast trend is crucial to take corrective actions. Organization that uses project information to manage and project performance management to manage projects like, as I mentioned, earned value technique achieves higher success rate compared to those who just let the project move without leveraging the data and information gathered in the project. Then the next element of the basically we can say it is a sub process of performance management is forecasting. By increasing the accuracy of estimate at completion, project controllers and manager can gain a lot more insight into current driver of cost and schedule overruns. Good progress performance measurement is critical input to forecasting process. It serves as a comparison against actual and committed costs that enables project controllers to extrapolate the forecast using combination of a standard forecasting method and formulas as well as using their own experiences. Regular timely updates add project controllers by enabling faster responses and corrective action to when projects begin to get off track. So that is what about forecasting. Now let's jump to the next element, that is project administration. Probably you might be thinking, what is that as well? The project administration process involves establishing processes and systems that can help team members to communicate and collaborate with each other. For example, developing a document management workflow. The goal is to track status updates, capture meeting minutes, lesson learned, and manage workflow seamlessly so that team members can focus on actual execution rather than routine tasks and avoids conflicts. So these are the project control sub-processes we have. Now let's see how it works together. So in order to explain that, I have created a sort of flow. Let's talk about it in detail now. So at first, when as a project controls professional or a project controllers, first we do planning. So what we have here, we have plans for schedule. So schedule is a baseline schedule. Then you have cost baseline is basically budget. Then you have resources plans. Then you have a quality plans, and then you have initially you have a risk register, right? And then you have a change tracker log at the beginning of the project. So these are basically the fundamentals tools are the fundamental elements of project controls as the project starts, right? So once we go ahead and progress to progress month by month, then what we are going to have, we are going to gather the data for the period, and then we are going to do the analysis in terms of what was the baseline and what is actual. So we are going to have the analysis for period 1, then we are going to have analysis for period 2, and then we are going to have analysis for period 3. And then we are going to track the variances of each of the elements. So when we analyze the variances of each of the element, what we call the tracking for each period, and then based on tracking, we are going to have a trending for the project, right? For example, first month, our schedule has slipped for 15 days. Second month, it is slipped for other 15 days. Right? Third month, we recovered again out of 30 days of delay for 2 periods, we recovered 15 days. So what trending what trending this is setting that project was getting delayed, but it is on the recovery path. Based on that, this trending, based on that, this tracking for the period, and then based on the tracking, the trending, we can do the forecasting, how the project will be at the completion. So this is how the overall project controls function works. So in this section, we nicely covered what is project control definition, what is their elements, what is their sub-processes, how these processes works. And now let's get into the next section, that is about what? We'll see that.